I wasn't planning on making a video based off your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man because honestly my expectations were pretty low, but I was really surprised as to how good this show really is. So I had to make a video. To my surprise, your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man is actually really good. No, like really good. As of the time of this video, 2 episodes have come out, meaning the show has just premiered, and I want to make a video more with my initial thoughts before the show has even concluded. So we're gonna break down this video into 3 parts: the good, the bad, and what I found interesting. First, the good, the writing. It's awesome that Uncle Ben got name dropped a few times. I'm not gonna lie, Spider-Man cartoons recently have not had the best track record. I mean seriously, we had Spider-Man the Animated Series, Spectacular Spider-Man, we had it right up here at the top, and then eventually we had Ultimate Spider-Man, which was okay, and then Spider-Man 2017, which was not good. So I think it's very understandable that my expectations for this show were relatively low. I was expecting some funny / unfunny quips, and a higher focus on more of the Marvel superheroes instead of Peter's life and really the Spider-Man aspect of that story. And as much as I really like Tom Holland's Spider-Man, I thought that this was going to be very much another caricature of that version of the character. I expect some criticism on this Spider-Man, and while some valid, I will have to say that a lot of it is devil in the detail. The way that he moves, the way that he talks, his actions, I think that's what really does define who this Spider-Man and Peter Parker truly is. Peter in class when he hears the sirens and decides to suit up just to go in and stop a car chase. There's nothing that really requires him to do it, but the fact that he does it kind of speaks a little bit as to what type of character he is. Same goes for him leaving the internship just to stop a burning building, or saving animals in a pet store. That being said, the twist at the end could have been done better. A little too similar to Homecoming at times, which just kind of makes me wonder why certain characters were just added in and characters were removed. Like, to me, I don't really care that much about the romantic aspect of the story, at least right now. It just feels very much like a Liz copycat from Spider-Man Homecoming. Like, we could have just had Peter in Midtown with characters that we already knew, but I digress. To my surprise, the story is decently written. Actually, more than decently, it's actually pretty good. This feels similar to the MCU Spider-Man, but it has a little bit of a twist. It feels fresh, a little bit more lighthearted, but it still has that Spider-Man core, which I really did enjoy. The show never forgets that it's a show about Spider-Man and, most importantly, his neighborhood. A lot of people have been discussing this, but there's a wonderful scene where Spider-Man returns this person that had robbed some money from a pizza store and had basically just given them a second chance. He explains how this person was just scared, took the money, and she's very sorry about what she did. And I don't know, something about that just really, it feels like Spider-Man. It feels like that friendly aspect of Friendly Neighborhood. It does show what type of a character Spider-Man is in this universe. He's very compassionate, and he hopes for the best in others, which I think is very inspirational and something that many people should look up to. And as much as you would think it would be in the bad, I actually did like the animation, surprisingly. Yeah, looking at the trailers and the clips, honestly my expectations for this animation was I did not like it. I wasn't a fan of it. I'm not gonna lie, I still would much rather prefer this being 2D instead of 3D, but it works. Like, after a while, you just kind of get adjusted to how this show looks. It doesn't feel as awkward as you think it would, and honestly, it just kind of meshes really well. Also, it was cool that NPC Miles Morales was in the show. He voices this person if you don't know. If there's anything that I can say in the bad section right now, it would just be the theme song. I like the little remix on the classic Spider-Man theme, but something about it just kind of feels very But honestly, I don't think I have that much bad things to say about this show. I mean, yeah, characters are tweaked around, but in a world where the multiverse exists, I honestly can't mind. I'm not seeing that many complaints, but considering that I saw it somewhat topical, if you honestly have a big problem with diversity, I consider just touching grass. I mean, seriously, Spider-Man is a character that lives in Queens, New York. You don't expect diversity to be around Queens, New York. New York City, one of the most populated cities in the world, and elements such as Peter's Parker look I thought was decently executed. This isn't too much of a negative, but one thing that I would say is that it's a little strange how the show wants to somewhat connect itself to the MCU, yet also be its own thing. You have elements that's trying to connect with Civil War, but at the same time it isn't. At the same time, Peter's not in Midtown, so certain characters aren't there anymore, yet he's still Spider. It's a little strange, but it still works. I'd say to me, the most interesting factor about this is the fact that this show is kind of still an origin for Tom Holland's Spider-Man. Now, they're two different characters at the end of the day. This is still more of a what if, but what I do find interesting is that there are many factors and similarities that really do connect with one another. Whether it's the opening of Civil War or just how Peter really works in this universe, it really does mesh well with Tom's world, so we do kind of get more of a clear image as to what type of Spider-Man Tom was before he met Tony Stark. Honestly, after this episode, I am pretty convinced that Tom was bitten by the spider after Uncle Ben's death. I think Uncle Ben left a big impact as to why Peter should be a hero, but I think it makes a lot more sense now as to why Spider-Man in the MCU was trying to be a bit more heroic and was a lot more joyful and less guilt-ridden. Because I don't think he really suffered any real true loss before anime. Now, let me be clear though, I don't think that Doctor Strange showed up and a spider came in and those exact scenarios did occur, but I think something kind of did lead where a spider did bite him after Uncle Ben though. And from there, Pete tried to do the right thing, became Spider-Man, kind of just had some fun with it, and then eventually met Tony Stark, and the rest is history. Likewise, I think this show is following a little bit more of a similar path, except in this case, Norman Osborn's the one that talks to Peter. I'm very interested to see how the show continues to progress, though I am a little bit cautious. There are a few factors that I don't know if I entirely agree with, but these first 2 episodes have really sold me onto how great this show can be. And it's not just Spider-Man moments. Elements such as following Lincoln on his way home and seeing how he's treated really just kind of brings that more of a connection to the neighborhood and to really caring for these characters. And at the end of the day, that's all I really ask for. Treating these characters with respect and care and a great story. Characters can be race swapped, gender swapped, but at the end of the day, it's fiction. Like honestly, if you have an issue, just remember there's a multiverse out there. There's a universe where your perfect Spider-Man is still out there. So long as the story is good and the characters are well written, I'm happy. And so far, these first 2 episodes have really done that. It's a pleasant surprise, and I mean no ill intent. I was just a little burnt out with this project. Anyways, I'm getting a little too ahead of myself. I'm looking forward to watching the rest of Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, and maybe I'll shoot a video after when the show's complete, but for now, these are my initial thoughts for the first 2 episodes of Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. And in conclusion, Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, I was unfamiliar with your game. Make sure to follow and like this video, and remember to have a sunny day, and I'll catch you all later. Peace.